Hello, welcome back to the Enneagram channel. Professor Somebody. In this video, we're going to make a sequel to the Enneagram 1 video. In this video, we're going to discuss the Enneagram 2 video and all of the truths behind the Enneagram 2 while debunking all stereotypes of it. So referring to stereotypes, the most common stereotypes about the Enneagram 2 is that they are helpful. They like to help people. They are commonly lovers. They commonly seem to be helpful. They try to be nice people. Because on personality database, there is a common trend of people typing others as 2s because they're nice and helpful. Even though, in all honesty, anybody can be nice. Any type actually can be nice people. It's a result of something known as the Barnum effect. However, the 2s have some traits that definitely differ from other types, especially like 3s, 6s, and 9s. Because most descriptions of 2s are actually describing attachment types. Because in their need to be loved by others, really, their need to be loved by others for creating an image does not seem like a rejection type. Because think about a 2 as being a rejection type, and think of a 6 or 9 as being an attachment type. So a 6 is going to have tendencies of being an attachment type because they tend to attach to something. They tend to attach to something higher. They tend to attach themselves to something higher than themselves, either to protect themselves, to serve as a figure of strength, and and masculinity, or to serve as a pinnacle of intellect. Or the 9, with how they seek for something higher than themselves in terms of giving themselves up to another person. That's definitely why people mistake them for 2s. However, the 2's primary fixation is flattery. So what the 2 feels they need to do, what they fixate on, is they fixate on the idea of seduction. And all 2s are seductive in some way possible. Different subtypes that you just seduct people in different ways. The conservation 2 stalk people through the ego. And to fixate on the ego, to flatter people, one must identify themselves as sort of a child's figure, because the child tends to have the most ego tends to have the need to survive. And so when somebody has the need to survive, they will go to the state of a child, because the child is what flatters people the most. Especially since the child is the most dependent one. And this subtype of the 2 is most likely to be mistaken as an attachment type, or at least is what people think when they think of the attachment types. As in, like, the sexual 3, for instance. However, the sexual 2, of course, since it's a conservation type, has a tendency towards egotism because they need to protect themselves from the external world. They primarily focus on the ego the most. Within the social 2, this tends to be a lot more different because in the social 2, tends to seduct via the intellect, via the social realm. In this case, they can use verbal methods, reason, as a means of seduction. They can influence the populace, the collective, through a sense of flattery, a need to flatter people for approval. They feel a need to be approved by others for the intellect, even though in the trap of freedom they actually try to avoid this since they are a rejection type. They attempt to reject the approval of others, rather having a more self-confident image of themselves. Unlike a 3 who tends to have a more unstable image, and their image is based solely on that of others. A 2 seeking of freedom is in the form of identity, since they're an image type. Since you're an image type, they are fighting that dependency to be free. They're fighting dependency on being approved by other people and themselves. But rather, since they're the wrong person, like a rejection type, they tend to be a lot more, what should I say, distant from a public image. Not reliant on public image, but rather reliant on themselves. They can appear like an 8 at times because of the trap of freedom. Because, 8s, like 2s, are rejection types. They both tend to reject things from other people. Like, the 8s tend to reject, what the 8s tend to reject, they tend to commonly reject vulnerability the most. Because to them, it's what makes them, because to them, it is what brings them down, is vulnerability. So what they try to do is they try to deny, which is their coping mechanism. As for the 2, their coping mechanism tends to be, repression. And this repression, when the 2 tends to commonly repress their need to be approved by others. And this connects to their whole idea of freedom, because this whole idea of holy freedom is the very principles behind how a 2 functions, in the sense that the 2 needs freedom from people's ideas of them. Their image is not based on the approval of others, unlike what they want to think, unlike what they think. And so this differentiates them from every single mistype. Of every single side leg, crystal nose gives the 2s. Because crystal nose is a huge source of mistypes. It's not a very good source if you're actually trying to understand the Enneagram, especially the history of the Enneagram. Like from Isazo, Naranjo, Maytree, other good authors, Lukovich, etc. One of the most important aspects of the 2 is their pride. It is the most noticeable one, especially when it all subtype the 2. And yes, what I forgot to mention earlier about the fixation of flattery is that it also applies to pride. And what I forgot to mention about the sexual 2 is that the sexual 2 tends to use flattery in literal seduction, since it's a sexual type. It uses the id. It uses emotions to seduce people. It uses emotions to seduce people into a one-on-one relationship with them. This flattery is why a 2 needs approval, but at the same time it's very contradictory considering that 2 threatens freedom. And the passion's pride. And so since 2 is dependent on approval from others, they attempt to actually feel the holy idea of holy freedom to go against the approval of others. And will the passion of pride in 2, when sometimes the conservation 2, they feel pride from people knowing to protect them. It's how they get approval is through protection. It's through people protecting them. It's like a child, because a child is a being that needs protection from the parent the most. And in the case of the conservation 2, since Naruto seems to like to bully the 2 sometimes, that will make this more plausible one that can actually work these days. The two sometimes, the conservation two tends to be childish in ways that's not entirely egotistical, but yes, still used for self-preservation. They do tend to feel pride from other people seeing them as children. Well, not children, but childish in nature. And because of this childish youthfulness, the conservation too that is a result of in their need for being protected, they can commonly be mistyped as sixes. And since they're positively typed, the conservation too can be mistyped as sevens as well. The pride of the sexual two is in the form of them feeling getting the approval, the love of one person through their pride. And their pride is a very, very dependent aspect of the two. And the social two is a lot more complex, considering that the social two feels a need for approval through the intellect, through being seen as an intelligent, through being seen as the intelligent being that knows how to convince people. The social two can appear like a want in some cases. It's usually the least. It's there. In some cases, the social two can be the least emotional to the outside. However, the social two still uses the emotions of others. It's still emotionally oriented in the way that it tries to seduce others through the intellect. It tends to flatter people through the intellect, and how it tends to feel a sense of pride, a sense of approval, when they can convince people through the intellect, when they can seduce people through it. And the very aspect that people seek for in their lives is humility. Mainly for the twos. All types have a certain virtue that they seek for. It is the nature of balance from a human being. So humility is a way of overcoming pride for the two. One is that they are not unique. They can bear the they can realize that they're unique. In the case of humility, it's more of a sign that a two tends to be healthy. Because the pride is a sign of unhealth, lack of health. And this virtue of humility tends to come in the form after their pride is satisfied. And after their pride is satisfied, they can finally feel a sense of humility, knowing that they have become prideful. It's known that they are just as perfect. They bear the exact same essence as everybody else, and that they are not completely unique. This is kind of integrative this is how the two works in a way. A good example of a two in fiction is Misa Amane from Death Note. I type her as a conservation two, but Misa Amane, she feels the need to protect. She feels the need to have a certain childish aura to her in order to seduce people. She has a certain charm to her that comes in the form of the need to protect herself from the police, because she is one of the cutest that Alice is looking for. She does seduce light, which is, well, people do use the argument that she seduces light as an argument for sexual too, but that doesn't really hold up, as well as conservation too, considering that she does use a childish aura, an expressive, more immature way of seducing people, flattering people with the childish aura. And yes, that's how Misa is able to produce such a high profile for the public. And yes, she's not the sexual three either, because unlike a sexual three who actively needs to create an image in order for them to feel adequate at all, she can feel adequate when not really needing a public image, because she's a rejection type. She rejects. She needs to feel herself. She needs to be herself in order for her to feel adequate, which is why she's a rejection type. She rejects the very principles of an attachment type. She seeks freedom. Later in the story, even though she's very dependent on what Yagami because she pretty much attached to him, which is why she died later on, a year after the death of Enneagram Two. She's very prideful in nature in terms of how she is, in terms of how she creates her image, in terms of how she gives the image. In fact, her interactions with Elle, she tends to try to introduce Elle in a childish persona, especially after she loses her members from the Death Note. And with her losing her members from the Death Note, is a sign that she is, after all, not a 3, but a 2. A good example of a social tune fiction is probably Makima from Chainsaw Man. Now honestly, I have to watch the series in order to fully analyze her character. And then for a sexual tune, it would be Maddie from Euphoria, which I will play a clip of very soon.